A White House reporter asked Karine Jean-Pierre what she thought of the Donald Trump win, and the excuse that she gave for him winning was so unbelievable that I had to watch it twice. I could not believe what she said. You guys have got to check this out.
Talking about the pandemic's role in the outcome of this election. And it sounds like that is being looked at internally as potentially one of the causes of this outcome. But Richie Torres, the congressman, tweeted, "Donald Trump has no greater friend than the far left, which has managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos, Blacks, Asians, and Jews from the Democratic Party with absurdities like defund the police or from the river to the sea or Latinx." Is the administration, the campaign, the Democratic Party looking at the pandemic as the cause rather than, is that easier than looking in the mirror?
So look, let's step back here. I think I've been, and the president and the vice president has been pretty clear in understanding that the American people have spoken and respecting that. I think we have tried to be incredibly respectful of what happened 2 nights ago. And we're going to continue to do that. And I'm not going to speak to every person in the Democratic Party who has an opinion or a thought. I'm just not. It is not something that I'm going to do. I talked about the political toll on incumbent parties around the world as a data point, right? As something that we have seen pretty consistently with G7 allies in this time. And obviously, one of the things that occurred was the pandemic. It did. It caused disruption. It caused the supply chain to be disrupted and caused the economy to be turned upside down. While we put policies, and we are, in fact, leading the world on the economy, it doesn't stop the fact that there has been a political toll for incumbents. That is something that I'm telling you as a data point to share, because we know that you guys would have questions. That's a data point that I'm using.
First off, lady, COVID-19 did not happen under Joe Biden's administration. That happened in 2020 when Donald Trump was still in charge, and the argument can be made that that helped Donald Trump lose the election in 2020 for many different reasons, but I'll leave that there. So how on earth are you blaming the supply chain issues and the economy on COVID-19 when Donald Trump rebounded after COVID perfectly? By the time that Trump left the White House in late 2020, early 2021, the economy was booming. It was soaring. It had more than fully recovered after it plummeted in March of 2020. So my question is, if Donald Trump is able to figure it out within months of COVID happening, how is Joe Biden not able to fix these issues 4 years after the fact? This is just a blatant excuse, and it's just lazy. I cannot believe they would possibly come up with this excuse. Because even in 2020, Trump never had any supply chain issues. This was not a problem whatsoever. And even when it started happening in 2021 under Joe Biden, Trump was saying, "What the heck? How is this even possible? I've never heard of supply chain issues in America. We are better than this." And that's exactly right. You cannot put all the blame from Biden's economic failures on COVID, because that's just simply not true.
Experts in the next days, weeks, months, who are going to, again, looking under the hood, kick the tires, trying to figure out exactly what happened 2 nights ago. And so they're the pundits. They're going to speak to that. They're the experts. And so we'll have more information as they look at the data. And so we'll leave that to them. And so I'm offering you our perspective, our thoughts, how we're going to move for the next 74 days. And I think what Americans should be assured of is that this is a president that's going to put the American people first. That's what people can be assured for.
Is examination happening at all inside, though? Because as Gabe mentioned, this administration messaged to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up the day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble, and the president said today we're going to be okay. So how do you square that?
I can square that. I'm going to square that in a way that hopefully makes sense, because I've been answering this question multiple times. The American people made the decision. There was an election 2 nights ago. There was. And it was a free and fair election. And we respect the election process. We do. And Americans spoke. And so the job of the president is to make sure we respect that. The job of the president is to make sure that we have a peaceful transfer of power. That is what the American people deserve. And that's what we're going to, it's not complicated. It's truly as simple as that. As simple as that. The president called, the president-elect invited him to the White House. You know why? Because that's customary. That is customary. That is what you do. If you respect what the American people decided, that's what you do. And that's what the president's going to make sure that the Trump transition has what it needs, which is being led obviously by our chief of staff here. Why? Because the president wants to lead by example. It's not complicated. It really isn't. And you know, that's important.
Example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the state.
Well, now you're just twisting everything around, and that's really unfair. No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair because I've been standing here trying to be very respectful to what happened the last two nights ago. Being respectful. I've been standing here saying that we respect the decision that the American people made. I've been standing here and saying that the president's going to put the American people first. I've been standing here talking about how the president's going to make sure that they get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very clear about what the president wants to do and the vice president. We want to make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see.
It's so crazy how she's saying she wants to be respectful, yet for the past 4 years, this administration was calling Trump an insurrectionist, evil man, Hitler, his supporters are garbage. You guys started all of the drama and all of the fighting. In fact, when Donald Trump was inaugurated for the first time, you guys never gave him a fair shot. Right from the very start, they tried taking Donald Trump out. I mean, look at what happened to Michael Flynn. They made that man's life a living hell because he was going to expose some things that were happening in Washington, D.C., and they couldn't have it. And I mean, yes, she did agree that Donald Trump did win the election, but there was no denying it. He won in a landslide. There was no way that they could possibly say there was any cheating whatsoever, so they had no other option. Just to say, yeah, he won. We can't even talk about it anymore. But she kept making passive-aggressive comments saying, this is what should be done. This is how you're supposed to do it. Kind of throwing shade at Donald Trump because he was not happy with the election results in 2020 because there were irregularities that were not rectified. So I thought she was kind of throwing a dig at Trump there. So I mean, these people have to stop pretending to take the high road all the time when they're the ones causing all the drama. It doesn't make sense. I just can't wait until truth, logic, and common sense makes a return to the White House because our country is severely lacking in all three. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Who do you think was Joe Biden's best press secretary and who was his worst press secretary? Let me know. I'd love to hear that in the comments. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.